Use a tiger. They're eating all the tigers. Why have you got a pink pop-up on? Use a bloody tiger. I didn't realise how good their eyesight was on rigs.
Yellow cap gunny. Yeah, I'm never fishing with pink. I never get bites on pink.
And then you go away from it, don't you? Then you discover a Ronnie rig or a 360 rig, and then you start topping things with plastic corn, and then you put it in the edge and it goes down like that, and you think, oh, that's a bite. It's taking it, it's bloody taking it. And then you see the rod go up and bang, I was in. That is the best A game, the best you can possibly do. Why not use it everywhere? I sort of scream, Bob! My name is Bob! In a seagull voice. Oh my days. In a really loud seagull voice.
Guys, a warm welcome back to the All-Ways Carp Fishing Podcast. We've got a jam-packed podcast for you this time. In the studio, I'm joined by Harry Charrington. Mozza is back with us, and we've also got the legend that is Dave Lane. We're going to get into lots of topics. Purposely, why Dave has changed his approach over the last couple of months with new rigs. We've got Mozza fishing some amazing and very unique venues. And also, can carp be caught off the top in October? They definitely can. Welcome back, and be prepared for a great podcast.
Kit and crew and everything. But does it, once you've done these bits and explained why you got turned over so much, it'll be a good film. You've done one with SIP, haven't you?
Yeah.
What did you think of that, Dave? What did you sort of think of the old underwater?
I thought, so before, way back when they started being done, when it was like Diver and all of that sort of stuff, Hughes was doing one, and I just thought, it's a load of old, just rubbish. It's got nothing to do with carp fishing. It's shite. And then I saw a few reels on like Insta and stuff, and I just thought, I'm screaming at them, use a tiger. They're eating all the tigers. Why have you got a pink pop-up on? Use a bloody tiger. Put it on the bottom. And I sort of thought, I want to do one of these, show them how it's done. Yeah. And then when it came to it, and I got offered the chance to do one, I thought, I am going to do it. And I thought it was really interesting to see how you normally fish, how it looks. Because I've always watched them from boats and with masks and glass bottom buckets. So I had quite a good understanding of it all. But I learnt stuff, and that's what I wanted to do. As soon as I sussed it and got a bite, I changed my rig. I didn't want to catch loads of fish. I wanted to see how everything worked. I wanted to learn. And I now use fluorocarbon from the reel to the hook.
Really?
All the time.
Interesting.
Because I didn't realise how good their eyesight was on rigs. Yeah. It's fucking frightening. It's not sucking and blowing. They come in and they just put their fins out and they're looking straight at the wrong one like that.
Their eyes tell 1,000 stories on them underwaters, though.
Even with a bottom bait and a clear hook link and everything. And you look and you think, well, the hair stop, I can see the fucking hair stop. There's something. Wafters, oh my God, they were like freaked by wafters, more than pop-ups.
Do you think, like...
Just by the little tremble in the thing. Leaving 6 boilies and eating...
mindset as me, same mindset.
Everything else, and left 6 boilies because one of them was the hook bait.
Like
do you know what I was...
for a long time.
Mate, I had that this week. I was at Horseshoe and I wanted to film some stuff talking about the rig underwater that I'm using. And I was using a little stick and like... a balance bait, but enough for it to sit on the bottom, but still a bit of buoyancy there, a bit of balance with it. And as I put it in there, because it had a bit of a chop on the water, honestly, the bait's doing this. And I thought, that is so unnatural in a normal environment, because all the bait would just move together, wouldn't it? And that's what, do you think that the fish are used to seeing that, and that bait doing this is just alien?
Yeah, I mean, anything that stands out as wrong can't be good, can it? Yeah. But the straight line, it's the thing, and there's no straight lines in nature. That straight line of your leader and your lead and your rig and everything, it just looks so bloody obvious.
Yeah. It's funny because I go round in cycles with my own fishing, having not done a lot of sort of underwater fishing, where I'll go through a phase of using only fluorocarbon and like doing all of that, and then probably coming away from it from whatever reason, like I needed to use leg core in a certain situation for snag fishing or whatever, and then sort of not go back to the fluorocarbon for ages. But it's really interesting that you say that. And is that only like on really clear lakes.
Well,
I guess most of the lakes you're fishing are.
Yeah,
really clear.
but then you look at it, you think if it on gin clear lakes, it's going to make the difference. So why use something lesser when it's not gin clear?
Yeah.
Because you've got the option. No one's forcing you to use a brown leader, are they?
No.
Or a coated hook link. You
No,
use
no,
what you've got,
everything's
tackle box
available.
full of stuff.
Yeah.
Why think, I don't need it here? If it's the best, then use it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, then
Yeah.
you're using the best you can use.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. When, was that this year that you did it? Yeah.
I mean,
Only
the
about
lake-
a month ago, wasn't it? Was it
Yeah.
about a month ago or something?
Probably a bit more, couple of months ago. I
Oh, was
suppose.
it?
You know, it's like fishing on a yellow version of this tabletop. It was the most hideous thing I could. I wouldn't normally have even put a bait there.
Yeah, but
there's
you've
a
got to
camera
do it.
there. Hadn't been fed for long, only for a week. But obviously they wanted it, you know, to be right. The fish to be visiting it. The water was tap clear, gin clear. So you were bang up against it. And I said straight away, I put my normal rig out. I thought, I'll see how it looks. And I came and I sat down and I looked at the camera and I said to her, I'm winding that in a minute. I'm not fishing. And I wouldn't normally fish with that in that situation. You know, it was just like a Ronnie and it's just sat there sticking out like a racing dog's doodahs, you know. And I just thought, they're not that stupid. You know, they're not clever, but they're not that stupid. So I changed it for a bottom bait and I think I did well for. I wasn't getting spat out. I mean, I did. You get spat out; it's part of the game. But I wasn't getting mugged off at all.
Yeah.
Most of the time, most of the time it went in their mouth. I got something. You know, something.
Yeah.
Did you, going back to the wafter thing, did you ever have it where the fish would go? So I don't know how long you fish with wafters for, but with mine.
I didn't fish with anything for more than 5 minutes. You know me, Ross.
That doesn't surprise me, Dave, in all fairness. But with mine, I was noticing the fish coming in, getting inches away from it, and then the hook bait would shake and they'd veer.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Explain.
But they're too close to see it at that point. Is that
That's
what
what I
you're
mean.
saying?
Yeah.
So they're not seeing
So they
that.
feel
Are they
it.
feeling that through their mouth? Are they?
Oh, I
what
don't
is
know.
making them veer away from that hook bait? Like
Vibration,
inches
do you think?
before?
Something
that
in water.
really
that
did
vibrates.
me.
But when they're getting that close,
You know?
is it taste?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
Not when it's a bunch of
not
maggot.
when it's a baited
not when it's a
spot.
bunch of maggots.
No, it's a baited spot. I think I got the impression they knew on the way in.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah,
That's a good.
They,
Yeah, I
but
never
they still
thought
went
of that.
in because there was food, but they knew that one was wrong.
Right.
Maybe
Oh, so this is.
So you don't think it's
baked
the
in my head
wobble?
already. This is.
Maybe.
it's the wobble that they see. I think. You know, I was seeing it. You know, when you're looking through the lens, you're sort of imagining that you're them. You know, you're down there with them, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, so you're seeing what they're seeing. You know, I know their eyesight's different and whatever, but we can only relate it to what we know. And I was looking, thinking, I know which one's the hook bait there. When you've got like 8 boilies in a cluster and some growlers and some seed and some bits and pieces, I thought I can see mine because it's going like this. It's on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's hard on the bottom, but it's just
But
going
it's
like
still
that.
more buoyant than everything
And
else.
it's got a little black tick on the top where the hair stop is, and it's just like, I want to change that.
How have you adapted that now, Dave? Have you? Are you all out heavy baits now? Then is that something you've put into your fishing now after seeing the movement too much?
Put back into my fishing because I always used to be.
Right. Okay.
I always used to say, when people talked about rigs and baits, I said, if you can get fish to eat 18 mil, you know, because there wasn't 20s then, 18 mil bottom baits, then you've won.
Yeah.
Because the rigs don't matter, nothing matters. You just put it on a long hair, 80 mil bottom bait, you're going to get bites. Once they're sucking in, then big heavy baits.
Yeah.
And then you go away from it, don't you? Then you discover a Ronnie rig or a 360 rig, and then you start topping things with plastic corn, and then you put it in the edge and it goes down like that, and you think, oh, that's a bite. But it's not, is it?
But also,
the
there
opposite.
there isn't like a one size fits all because
No.
you're not always going to be fishing over loads of bait.
No.
You're not always going to be fishing over boilies. You might need to get them going on really small particles, or that might be the only way you can get them going, or you might be needing to fish singles or bright ones more so in the winter and the spring, I guess.
And it's site specific, isn't it? It's every lake's different, but then parts of the lake are different and they feed differently. The spots, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Like I said about fishing on that yellow tabletop, that's different to dropping it down the side in the silt. And you might need a different rig.
Yeah, that's it. Or in the weed.
Yeah. When you get these clear spots and you batter them on them and then they blow, people say, oh, they won't feed on that. They've been smashed on that. If you set up trees and watch, they feed on them all the time. You just don't get bites on them anymore because it becomes so obvious. They come in, they pick up all the freebies, they leave your rig and swim off. If you can't see that, you think, oh, you don't get bites off that anymore. They don't go there. They do because they've always been fed there. So you need a different approach there than what you might need in other parts of the lake. But like I say, if that's the approach, that is the best A game, the best you can possibly do, why not use it everywhere?
Yeah.
You know, why think, I don't need that there. I just think, well, if that's the best I can do, then that's the best I can do.
Yeah. And are you someone who does tinker and change a lot?
I always used to say I'd only got 3 rigs and one of them was a zig. You know, I'd got a bottom bait rig and a pop-up rig, which used to be the 360, which came about through Fox originally, because I did a little bit of consulting for Fox. It was my first ever consultancy, and I got the Series 5s. They're called Series 5s?
They were Series 5s, yeah.
When Max was part of it and all of that. And anyway, me and a mate came up with the 360 rig. So I had that as a pop-up rig. And I had my bottom bait rig was just a hair rig and a zig, and I didn't really change a lot, but I do a little bit more now. I've got about 5 rigs and none tied up ever. I don't have a single tied up rig in my.
So you fish into the situation.
Yeah. You know,
I
tried that. I tried having a little pouch full of tied rigs. And I'd have like loads of different rigs, and I could guarantee when I got into a situation, I thought, right, I think I know what I need. It wasn't one of them, so I just give up now. Just have a load of bits in a box.
Have you noticed as well? You know, when you only tie the rig in the moment, you're always like, "That's the one."
Yeah.
When I put that rig back in the case and come back in a week's time, I'm like, who the hell tied that? That looks horrendous. I've never cast that out.
Might just be you, Dean.
Possibly, yeah. It's a good job my rig's aren't on camera. Yeah, probably. But yeah, you always have the most confident in the one you just tied.
Yeah.
It's I don't know whether it's a mental thing but it's definite.
I find with rigs as well, you forget things. Something will work. Like I said about the bottom baits, and then I didn't do it for a long time, and now I'm doing it again. The pop-up off the lead rig, so a straight bit of nylon, 8 to 10 inches long, with a big pop-up on it. I have caught so many fish on that, like back in the Horton days and that. I used to catch, there was one guy on Horton, that's all he ever used, and he caught all the big ones, just chucking that out, and it looks ridiculous.
Over a baited area, or?
Yes or no,
anything.
whatever. But that was the presentation. And then you don't use it for years and years and years. And not so long ago, this year actually, I was on quite a tricky water and the fish were showing and I didn't want to pull about, and I just thought, I'm going to try that. I tied it on there, put it out there, 10 minutes later it's away. And I thought, that happened 2 years ago when I last used it. I had a bite in an hour. And 5 years before that. Why don't I use it all the time? And then you think, because it's ridiculous. And then in another couple of years, I might think, I'll try one and I'll get one and I won't use it again. What's all that about? Real slow learner.
But what, is it a slow learner, or is it just you're reading that situation, you're thinking, you know, for whatever reason, these fish are showing in a way or in an area that suits
maybe
that presentation.
Maybe. Or you put too much of your carp angler brain in it and dismiss it after the fact.
Yeah.
You think it must have been a fluke because that's a terrible rig.
That's the thing, no one's doing that.
No.
Are they?
No.
Who's doing that?
No. But you zig fish.
But the thing is, when you again going back to the underwater thing, when you're watching them, they're swimming like yay far away over your spot.
I've had that conversation so many times.
Just put a
I said they don't swim with their bellies on the bottom.
Yeah.
They swim that far off the bottom most of the time.
Yeah.
Why not just put a bait in front of them?
It was, you know, that AI Facebook page, totally carp bait.
Yeah.
Just the other day, they put a post up that was about whoever fishes a pop-up off the lead anymore. And there was loads of comments being like, it's a zig, blah, blah. And Chili went on that, and he like waded in, and he was like, we were using pop-ups off the lead way back then, and he was
Fair play.
weighing in on it. But
First time I ever used one, it was on Chichester Wick Lake, where I caught my PB of 20 pound 8 ounces. So long, I couldn't say what year, but long. Yeah.
How did you get that ticket? Because you got to live in the area, innit? Did you live in the area?
Well,
I'd imagine there's good stories,
I
isn't it?
knew someone who lived in the area.
Bring your mic round slightly, Dave, so it's pointing towards you. That's it.
I knew someone who lived in the area. You could get a day ticket, you could get a club ticket, but you couldn't get a night ticket.
That's right. Yeah.
And you had to go to the tackle shop and get your night ticket. And we knew one or two people that lived in the area. So every week we go to the tackle shop, different ones of us as different people with different tickets, and get the night tickets.
Right, because you had to have a utility bill. They
Yes.
so they were like, we want a utility bill. I was like,
There's always a way. But anyway, I was down there. It was in the 80s. And I was making my own bait, which were fish meals. That was all people used to make back then, fish meals. So I had these fish meals, and I had the little cork balls, and I'd made these cork ball pop-up things. It was just getting into pop-ups. And for some reason on this session, all I had, it was in the winter, all I had was the pop-ups. So I just got a little bag, maybe 20 or 30 pop-ups, no other bait, nothing. 3 rods, split shots for balance weights for pop-ups. I had 2 split shot, 3 rods. That was it. So I fished 2 out there proper, you know, on little 1-inch pop-ups. And the other one, I thought, I'll just chuck it out there. It's all I've got. I had 13 bites that session, all of them fishing off the lead.
wow.
yeah.
Are you
That's
fussed?
right. But that's in the winter. I've definitely caught a lot of fish on what I would call mini zigs, which are like 1 foot zig rigs with a zigger liner and that. So it is especially in the winter and the early spring.
It's been
when
assigned, is it the
they're moving
ambush rig
about
they
a
call
little
it?
bit more.
Is it the ambush rig? It's been
I don't know.
touted. I was always told it was called the ambush rig, this
Right.
foot off the thing.
Right.
That was what I was told. When you're using that, Dave, do you...
That's a Shropshire thing.
It definitely's got to be a Shropshire. Definitely a Shropshire. There you go, boys. Here did here first. Get on the ambush rig. Doing it in the 70s in Shropshire, boys. Are you fussed on colours you use off that? Do you use bright? You're not. It doesn't matter. You're the same as Chili. You don't give a monkeys what colour it is either.
No, not really.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
Did you not notice that on your underwater then, that something caught their eye more than another?
No, because I very quickly went in on something subtle.
Right.
You know, I ended up using a tiger on the bottom.
Did you?
Yeah, because that's what they eat, isn't it?
But and this was it August?
It was, and it was 34 degrees when we were doing it.
Jeez.
So
But
we
this
had
is
everything
but
against us.
like summer fishing, tigers and that they do that. And more, you know, you come away from the bright ones a little bit more, don't? Well,
Yeah.
I probably don't enough.
Me too. I'm guilty of that.
But yeah,
The thing is with this underwater, what drives me mad, I was saying about it the other week when we were at Sandhurst, I had a pink bit of plastic out there and 2 yellows. And the yellow kept going, I'm never fishing with pink here. I never get bites on pink unless it's in front of an underwater camera. The minute I put it in front of they just seem to want to home in on it. But yet when I chuck it out in the pond in a normal situation, I never get bites on pink.
but the other day you were feeding corn, weren't you? Were you feeding corn?
Yes, I was feeding corn, but you
Yeah,
want,
so
yeah, but you want something to stick out though, don't you? So you're
Not
feeding loads and loads of corn
You don't
out
necessarily
there.
want something.
Yeah, of course you do. You're going to want to put a bit of pink in amongst a load of corn, and you would like to think that the pink would go more than the 2 yellows sat in amongst the corn.
Yeah, that's what I think 9 times out of 10. But then there are.
Do you
times
think
and
so, though?
situations.
Well, when you're watching it and they're homing in on that pink, you're just like, there's something in that.
But I do think that is time of year specific, because I think earlier in the year they're more likely to do it
Again, I
before
get
they've been
more bites
battered a
on
bit,
yellow. I'll
before
put a pink one out and a white and a yellow, and the white and yellow go. The pink will never go. Even in the spring.
It's the big thing now, isn't it? The pink.
Oh, it's gone mad. Yeah, pink
goes
is the
on
one at the
about
moment. Yeah.
pink.
I just never get bites in a normal situation. A minute, I reckon it's a reflection off a lens or something like that that's making them want to eat
that make it look yellow.
Yeah.
Guys, there is a million one things I want to get into. There is venues I want to talk about, places that you guys have fished together. Before I get into that, I just want to bring it back to recent angling. Dave, it's October, and you've had one off the top.
I did.
What is that all about?
3 days ago, October the 5th. I was on, and it's a proper lake.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I don't know, can't think of any that aren't like Drayton.
What's
Drayton.
the go-to not proper lake?
No, it's proper lake, so the proper fish.
Yeah.
I'd walk round, I'd fished here, I'd fished about 4 swims in a day like I do. And I'd gone round into this little bay, hadn't been fished. I don't think it's been fished this year. It just, there's like one bank's got 2 points, which forms 3 bays, and the one in the middle, just for some reason, gets left. It's only a small bay. And I went in there, I climbed a tree and looked over this big, thick Norfolk reed bed. It was only shallow. And I could see fish in the edge there on top of the weed, and the sun just getting a bit of afternoon sun.
Okay.
And I looked, and their tails was lower than their heads as they was sort of swimming about, and they would, if carp look up, they were looking up. And I just thought, another time of year, I'd get the floaters out for them. I looked and thought, I'm going to give it a go. Now, logistically, it was a nightmare. The floaters was in the van half a mile that way. My landing net, I had a rod in the van, but my landing net was in the swim that I'd fished the night before, which was half a mile in the other direction. It took a lot of correlation to get all the gear together to just cast out.
Yeah.
I thought, it's got to be worth it. So when I got the floaters first, fired a pouch over there. There was quite a breeze coming in over these fish. As the floaters came over, only 2 foot of water, they smashed them. I mean, not just a little bit of interest. They came up, they were golloping them.
Right.
And I thought, wow, this is a chance. Ran back, got the landing net, got in, had to get like waders on and get through the reeds, flicked it out there and pulled it in. And they took, one come up and nailed the controller straight away. Why did they do that? You know, you scale
the
down
biggest
your bait,
object.
you scale down your bait, you get it so
annoying.
perfect, and you've got this big white missile, and it went wallop. See, it went in its mouth sideways like that. Pushed it, let go. Then another one lifted it on his peanut like that. Then I put it back out there. What I use a big heavy missile, and I cast. If I'm fishing 2 rod lengths out, I'll cast 40, 50 yards, and then it does 80 yards. This missile, and then tweak it in because they don't like the splash, do they?
No.
So I put it back out, right out the back of the bay, got it in over their heads, and I'm filming for my video channel. So I've got one of them little Osmo, I call it the Alien. It's one of those little cameras that follows you around.
Yeah,
Got it on a tripod
They're
behind
cool,
me, got
yeah.
a little mic on, and I watched it the other day. I haven't edited it yet, but I watched it last night, and I'm so excited. It's coming. Oh my God, it's got the controller. Oh my God, it's taking it. It's bloody taking it. And then you see the rod go up and bang, I was in.
Wow.
Couldn't believe it. October the 5th.
Yeah, it's
I kept saying,
crazy.
it's October the 5th and I've got one on the top. £34 common.
That's
It was
brilliant.
I was just like, wow.
Is that the latest you've ever had?
Yeah,
one?
by quite a long way.
And do the floaters like stay in the van all the time, or
Well,
is that
here's
when
the-
would you have got
Right,
them out of the van?
Here is the thing. So 2 weeks beforehand, I quite often empty my van to go, because we're doing a load of building work at home. So I go to the dump a lot. So I empty everything out the van to put the dump stuff in. So 2 weeks beforehand, I hadn't put the floater rod back in. I picked it up to put it with all the others and thought, oh, why? But the floaters are one of the many buckets that all look the same, and there's like a bank of them at the front, so they went back in. Last week, I didn't put the floaters back in. Now, and then I went last week, and it was that hideous high pressure, and it was really quite warm. It was like high doubles.
Yeah, it was.
Over 3 days, I reckon there was 4 opportunities where I thought I would try a floater today, when the fish was like right on the top. So this week, I thought, sod it, I'm taking all the floater kit and leaving it in the van. So normally, yeah, it'd be gone by now. But because of that high pressure, and because I kept seeing them on the top, I thought if I get one more opportunity, one more dorsal breaks the surface, I'm floater fishing.
That's because like most people, even if they'd have seen that, they'd have been like, it's going to be October next week.
Yeah.
What's the
Oh, it was. It was the 5th of October when I said that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Something there that sort of really hit home with me then, and the question we get asked a lot is what separates an average angler to a really good angler, and it's something you just said then that I'm pointing out I'm an average angler. The fact you went up in the tree, you saw the carp. Now, if it was me in the tree, I'd be like, oh my God, there's carp, I'm going to have a go. But you looked at the behaviour of the carp when you just said having the heads were above their tails. Yeah. See, that's just those little fine lines that you see that equals the opportunity.
Know what they look like when they're up for, you look at fish and you hear people say, caught there, bang up for a floater. You don't have to be nudging the surface. They're looking up.
Yeah.
But I think that's only comes through experience of being a floater angler, because the majority of people aren't floater anglers.
Floater angling, it's a thing of the past, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't
No
see
one does it.
No, they don't.
It's the most exciting fishing you'll ever do.
When I went on the same complex, this is Urchester we're talking about, it's not no publicity or anything, so I can talk about it. And I'm on the big lake now, but I've been on the smaller lake, the Car Park Lake, and that's trickier because it's small. They're under pressure the whole time, and there's one fish in there called April that I really wanted. So there's about 18 fish in there, and throughout a year, give or take, because of the floods or whatever, I caught all of them basically, most of them anyway, the ones you want, apart from this one. And this one was mad for floaters, and I caught it in April. It's called April because it gets caught in April off the surface, like from a rod length out. Watched it take the bait. I tried 2 days. I stalked it on the surface every morning. As soon as it got light, I'd put floaters out, and it'd come in and it'd start taking them, and it'd go out, and it was a proper cat and mouse. And eventually hooked it from just there on a floater, and it's just so satisfying.
Yeah,
to get them on the top.
Yeah,
it's the best.
It's completely different gravy to chucking out there, free on the spot, spotting it up,
put the kettle on.
It's totally different. It's like eye to eye stalking, but it's even better because it's
not
right
trap setting, it's hunting.
It is, yes. And there's areas on the top, when you do a lot of floater fishing, in your swim, there's feeding spots.
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous, but they're not randomly going like this. When they're going into a certain little bit, they're nailing them.
Yeah.
And
but funny enough, I noticed that even on B2, we did, when Scott Lloyd did his fishing show, my little one and a couple of other little lads, and it weren't until it would get to the left-hand side of this tree at a certain point, get by it every time. It's proper mad that out there. There's so many carp out. You know what B2's like.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
And even on a place like that, it's a similar story, Yeah. There is spots within the surface.
Oh, 100%. And it is my single favourite way of fishing.
Yeah.
I love it. It's massively frustrating. You've got everything against you. Your rig's highlighted against the sky. Your mono sinks between your controller and your thing, and you're rubbing sweat on it, to try and get it to float because you haven't got any grease. And
then once you've hooked them, it's all lighter than everything else.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got everything against you. And obviously the gulls, you've got the gulls. And, that's a major thing. Now you've got the black-headed gulls, you've got the terns, actually, they don't bother you, but... and if you're near the coast, you've got them bloody great big gulls, proper sea gulls, and they drive you absolutely mental, and that puts a lot of people off.
And then the swans and the geese.
Do
you think that's why people don't do it?
I think so.
It's too much hard
you put a
work.
couple of pouchfuls out or a couple of spoms out, and they're there, and it's like, sod that.
I have a thing. I've actually brought him with me. I see you looking earlier, thinking, what on earth?
He's just bowling around the offices.
Let's walk through the offices. And what has he got in his hand? But I thought, if we start talking about floater fishing, you might like to meet Bob. Now,
Go on, then.
Bob is a friend of mine who always goes floater fishing with me. And Bob gets rid of the gulls. Now, a long, long time ago, we've all hooked the odd gull. They're very hard to hook. They're real cute, aren't they? As soon as you hook a gull, the first thing you notice is all the other gulls go up in a panic spiral. And they can go 50, 100 foot up in the air. They don't come down for hours. They petrified, and then they start to peel off and come down and go back on your floaters. So I thought, what if I had a mate?
This is an industry first.
Right. So there he is. This is Bob.
So just for the people who are listening, explain what you're holding.
It's Kez.
Well, yes, that's what it is. It's I got it off the internet, obviously, like you do, and it wasn't this colour. It was brown, and it's supposed to imitate. It's a plastic hawk, and I think you put it in the garden to scare little birds off your plant seeds or whatever, the gardening people, you know. Yeah. So I got him. I downloaded a picture of a black-headed gull. I raided the kids' painting set. I found some white paint and some black paint. Now, he's a bit tatty at the moment because he's had a hard season. And I made my own little black-headed gull. I drilled a hole through the tail and I put a split ring and I put a little bit of expanding foam in there. I had to glue his wings on a little bit better, and there's a couple of rusty old self-tappers in his back there. Because they kept falling off.
A lot of work's going on.
This is a work of art.
So what happens is you can either do it before you start, which is probably the best way, or if they're driving you mad, you get the option. You tie him to a spod rod and you chuck him out there. Now, he doesn't fly very well, okay? He'll probably do about 3 rod lengths if you're lucky, and he goes badoosh on the surface. If he lands that way up, he's good. If he lands that way up, he's brilliant. Oh yeah, because they just think dead gull. It's a dead gull. You hear it, the first one comes in and they do this thing. I don't know if I can show you. They come in and they look sort of sideways down like that out the side of their eye, and they do that. They give it a little whoa, and if you see them do that, you know you've won. Yeah. That is the panic thing. They give it that, and he'll go up in a spiral. He'll give a squawk, and they'll all go up in a spiral, and they'll stay up there all day.
Wow!
Yeah. And you can float a fish to your heart's content.
And it doesn't matter how far out past it you're fishing,
right.
Or does it?
That's the thing. That's the second rig.
Oh, okay.
So if he's out there, he's going to drift in. They always do. So he's out there a rod length. He's bobbing about. You can fish up to say 10, 15 yards or whatever, fairly comfortably. Occasionally you have to give him another cast. You don't want to keep casting him because obviously he's very loud and you're fishing.
Yeah.
So the second idea I came up with is the winch system. So you get your spod rod or your heavy duty rod and you set it up like a normal marker. It works best, it's easiest if on the top of the marker float. Have you ever seen that where they go out and catch the crabs and that on the deadliest catch?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen them? So they're on the boat and they've got the hook. Yeah. And they've got the pots down there and they've got 2 buoys, haven't they, with a rope in between. They cast between the buoys, hook it, bring it in.
Yeah.
So I had that in mind as well. So if you set your spod rod up like a plumbing rod, and then put another bit of line off the top. You don't have to, but it makes your life easier with another little float. So you've got something to cast through. Chuck it out in the middle of the lake. You need a big, heavy flat lead and a big ring on the lead. Let it up to the surface. Get any old rod. Cast between the 2 little floats so you've hooked your float. Open bail arm. Wind it into the bank. So now your lead's out there, 40, 50 yards or whatever. The end of your float's in your hand. Cut it off. Tie bob on, just winch him back out there. You can have him set out there at any distance you like.
Lydia is going to look amazing when this comes out.
A throwing stick. I did it at K1. I put 5 kilos of bait out with a throwing stick. Not one single one got taken at K1, where they live on boilies. You pick up a stick, they're there. I was just nothing. They're all up there just going round and round thinking, oh, we want to eat them, but there's a dead gull out there.
Yeah, because I always used to, still do, like get a spom on, chuck it way past where I was fishing and the line going through the spot, and that would work, okay. But it would drift. You'd have to redo it, and if the fish would find their little feeding spot. And once you got it drifting across there and you've got the floaters like picking up along the line, so you've got like a straight line of floaters, that never was any good. And then it would drift so far that the gulls would come in behind and feed. So it was like you say, okay.
Yeah, it's okay, but not.
That's brilliant. The sales of plastic little hawks are going to go through the roof.
The times I've used it, and everybody laughs or points or says nothing, which is worse. I go, I thought he knew what he was doing. He's supposed to be a professional. What is he doing? He's moved over, and you're swinging it. Oh, and there's something else that goes with it that helps.
That's amazing.
Sometimes I do it from the bank and give it that, but he's not as effective unless you do the bob thing. So I'm not going to do it because it'll blow the mic up. But I sort of scream, Bob! My name is Bob! In a seagull voice.
Oh my days!
In a really loud seagull voice.
This is amazing.
That's how seagulls talk.
Amazing.
So, people look at you sometimes a little strange.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a good way of keeping the other anglers away as well.
What happens is later on, within half an hour or an hour, you'll see somebody walk around and go, that's brilliant. Like, where did you get it? That's the first question.
Yeah.
Where did you get it? Because they've laughed at you, they've thought you're mad, and then they've seen it in effect, and they just think, I want one of them.
Yeah.
But I've only ever seen another one on the bank. My mate, Nick, he's Nick because he's northern, it's R everything, isn't it? Has got one called R Bob, and he's even written R Bob across the bottom. He's done a blatant copy of it.
Yeah.
And we went to the Woolpack fishing on Lake 8, just social fishing, and I did a video called Two Bob, and we both took our bobs and went fishing on Lake 8, and the gulls wouldn't come anywhere near us. It was brilliant. We got two of them out there, one out to the right.
It's genius, mate. It is genius. It really is.
And obviously, so you're filming everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Just for people who don't know, because we used to be able to get all of your content on YouTube.
Yes.
And now you've got a different platform.
So it's a Patreon. It's like a hosting company. It's called The Inner Circle. I do an hour video every Friday. So there's every week, which is, as you guys know, that's a lot of video. It's not up to your standards.
Are you filming and editing everything?
I film everything and edit everything.
Wow.
So what I do basically, I've got one of these. It's called a DJI Osmo.
That's what you use,
they're brilliant. Really good, aren't
They've
they?
got a 1-inch sensor, not getting all
they follow you.
The quality is unbelievable. It's proper, like mirrorless quality.
Yeah.
They're so good. And I've got a mirrorless, and I've got I've got a lot of stuff that sits in the bottom of the barrel. But this little camera thing, I take it everywhere with me. It's awkward because I move a lot. I do relocate a lot, 3-4 times a day sometimes, and it's got to make sense for the filming. So sometimes the first thing I do is put the tripod up. Here we are in the new swim, or now we're leaving this swim. It's a vlog basically.
Yeah.
And I used to do them. I used to do them for nothing. In lockdown, I did loads. I did a whole reading of my first book, but like the proper stories, not reading. I did a retelling of my first book. And at the end of lockdown, I thought, I quite like this. And the views were great. And loads of people said, can you carry on? And I thought, well, I can't work for nothing.
No.
I've got
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So I gave up what I was doing and thought I'll give it a go. So I started this channel and did the second book, and then did the third book. And when I got to the end of because I only know 3 books, got to the end of the third book, I said, well, that's people, on the channel. I said, but that's it, really. It's been great. And they went, no, don't stop. Do not stop. This is what we do every Friday. We sit down for an hour with a beer and watch this video. Just take it with you. Just do vlogging. So I'm now 2 years into that. So I've got something, I don't know what it is, like 250 hours that people... Sorry, I'm not making this into an advert.
No question.
Yeah, if people join, it's $5 a month, so it's not a lot of dollar.
No.
If people join, they get all of that. It's like a vault. It's all there, instant access or whatever, and an hour every week. So, it is a lot of work, and it does get in the way a little bit of your fishing, because you can't forget to film for a few hours, because then it makes no sense if you move twice and you've caught a fish and you think, I haven't got anything.
Yeah, but it hasn't got in the way of you catching a 34 off the top in October and caught it.
Yeah, I literally put the tripod up first before I cast in, And I'm so glad I did, because that don't happen every day, does it?
There's no better buzz than that. You're glad that you made the effort.
Oh God!
When was the last time you've been fishing without being filmed, or like? Can you remember?
No, years.
But last week I forgot to take my camera equipment with me because we were out filming for Fox, and I did an overnighter on where I'm fishing, and in the morning I had 220 I was talking to myself.
Oh,
I was bringing them in. I'm like, yeah. So I got, there's no one here. To keep reminding myself that I was, because I haven't done it in years.
You're not mic'd up.
No, it was weird. Like really strange.
I do it when the camera's not on. I chat away,
and I was like, I'm not even going to take a photo of that. I just unhooked it in the net, and I thought, that is a lovely carp there, and I let it go. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't done that in years.
It's back, bringing it back to where it all started.
Just madness.
Yeah. You've had a couple of pretty good weeks as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, wow.
Been slaying them, mate.
It's been all right. It has been all right. Yeah, so we're obviously doing this Mozza Versus series where we're fishing different venues, like just places where I guess I wouldn't probably go and fish myself, like do for my own sort of fishing, really. So we obviously did the first one, which was on the drains. And when we first come up with this, I thought, this could be, a bit unenjoyable. I reckon it's some of the best fishing I've ever done.
Yeah, why did you think it was going to be unenjoyable?
Just because no one else does it.
So, was this on the drains?
What? Yeah, on the drains in Peterborough.
I've looked at them and just thought, that looks a bit boring. It's just like fishing the motorway, and it's like
exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. We went in February, and it was like, mate, honestly, it was so. And I was fishing for mid-double commons, that were living a very harsh life in the drains with predation and what have you. You'd be lucky to see anything. I loved it. I couldn't believe how much I loved it. I loved it so much, I'm like, we're coming back. So in the summer, we went back and, again, just absolutely loved it. I got lucky because it's for miles and miles, them drains. We were searching and searching, and so even had drones, I happily admit, flying this drain around thinking, there is no carp in these drains at all. Like, you just couldn't find it. And we pulled up on this random bridge, and I leant over the edge and just saw one. Just see this ghosty go under this bridge. I thought, and then we walked for miles and miles, and then we found the mother lode sort of thing. Honestly, absolutely.
Are there ends to them? Are they like weirs? Are they natural collection points?
To be honest, you walk for that. Like, not really. I mean, most of them are connected.
Is there a pumping station that had a lock on it?
Yeah. So there is these pumping stuff, but they're opening up.
You're talking about an area where a 40-pound mirror got caught, aren't you? Yeah, where the pumping station, and you've got the drain and the river. I can't remember what it's called, but they're next to each other, and there's a lock and a pumping station.
Yeah.
I've been there
because it's near Bundy's.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah. I've been there for a look, and I had a look at the rivery part of it, and I had a look at the pumping stationy bit, and I thought I'll go for a walk, and that's why I said to Mozza about them being boring. So I started to walk up the drain, and I walked for 15, 20 minutes, and I thought, what am I doing?
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Everything looks the same.
Exactly the same. And if I just lean out and do that, I can see the curvature of the earth. Because
it's out of the fence. Flat as
stop walking.
Go to the pub.
Nowhere. And when you get up there, you've got to come back.
Yeah.
I thought so I got in the van and I went home.
But the buzz of seeing one when you walk for miles and miles, and then you see one, just brought back childhood memories, I guess. Unbelievable.
Bringing it back to recent times, Moz, you've had a bit of a result this week as well.
Yeah, gone off on one there. But so we started this series, and then we shot another one at, can I say, and all that? It's all right to talk about that? Or?
Well, yeah.
So we were at Walthamstow, the Coppermill stream. Oh, my God. It was just 2 foot gin clear water, cabbages everywhere, and not an angler in sight. The owners thought there was about 20 to 25 fish in there. Spoke to one of the regular guys, and he reckons there's only about 15 left in there now.
That's because of predation.
Predation again, it's a river, and they can't get out, and it's about a mile long, we think.
Right, okay.
So 15 fishing mile, like, you know, we're thinking, God, we're going to be lucky to even see one. Again, similar stop. Walked up, there's one. They're sitting in this jit. And then you're like, how do you fish for it? You know, it's like learning fishing all again, you know, doing something that...
You'd never caught a river carp?
Never caught a river carp before. Never fished for a river carp. And, well... Yeah, the big one out of there, as you do, you know. But the nice thing is I could get things going because there was no anglers there or no one bothering fishing.
Yeah, you weren't competing with anyone else.
Yeah,
it was just you and the fish.
And like you're putting these blatant boilies out on this tiny little mussel bed spot and all that. And I was thinking, if someone walks past that and sees a carp feeding on that, they're going to sheep me up. No one went near it. No one was interested. So I baited that spot. And I walked up and down for miles all day, knowing full well that I've got a baited spot for tonight, and then tomorrow morning I've got that baited spot, and I got that. And I had it all,
it was like a lake exclusive on a river.
Mate, literally, like that. And I thought, I'm bloody enjoying this. This is lovely. So, yeah, really, really good time there. And we filmed everything, obviously, for this series. And, just absolutely just blew me away catching that fish as well. Was, just unbelievable. And then we were meant to be fishing somewhere else quite special last week, but that unfortunately that got cancelled, and it was all a bit of a nightmare. And it was like, oh, where are we going to go? And Nick, who runs Sandhurst, had messaged me through Instagram about an item of fox tackle a while back, and I thought, I wonder if we could go to Sandhurst for September. Last week of September, the likelihood of getting on there is very slim.
Yeah, is it all exclusive?
Yeah, it's exclusive, and then they start winter tickets, I think. And if they have cancellations, they do this day tickets, I believe. I think that's the setup. And just message him, say, look, what's the chances of having a couple of nights at that? Mate, you're in luck. The guys that had booked it this week, I now know, had it booked for 2 years. So they just cancelled. All of a sudden, he's like, at 48 hours, fill your boots. I'm like, oh my God. So I thought this was a bit of a touch. And then got down there, managed to get in the left-hand island swim, which the last time I was in the left-hand island swim, I had 2 40-pounders out of there then. And just smacked 2 40-pounders out this time as well. Just carried on from where I left off.
And the biggest
one in the lake.
Yeah.
What have you stepped in, mate?
Mate, just like...
Keep it up.
Unbelievable.
You go to Hungary next week, filming as well, so you better catch a 70.
Yeah, and then go to Rainbow when I get back from Hungary. So I've got a nice month to look forward to.
Wow, some good angling.
Been really, really good. And just carp fishing can be amazing at times.
What you were saying about the river, it's mad, isn't it, with the rivers? As you was talking, I was thinking, you said you hadn't caught a river carp, and I was thinking, have I caught a river carp? I was thinking, I haven't actually caught a river carp. And then I thought, I have. I caught one out of the River Seine, just on a little day trip thing. We just had a little go, but, you know. But in the UK, I've not had a river carp. And the rivers, they're just left, aren't they?
Yeah, untouched. But a lot of them are.
All the flooding, where do they go? They go in the river. I know some get back into other lakes. But a lot of those fish that have been lost over the years... thousands of them must be in our river systems.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I used to live on like right next to the River Cam. That had resident carp. I caught a few of those ones. But back I used to when I lived in Surrey. I lived just on the River Mole in the Ember, and that had loads of really nice, not loads, but really nice carp in that. You can fish for properly. You can bait and all of that.
I mentioned the River Mole for years.
That's where I grew up. That's where I caught my first 20.
But it used to run through. Well, not used to it, but it still does. Run through Crawley, where I come from. But it was there's no 20s in there. There's nothing. It's a stream.
Yeah, no. This is about a mile before it goes into the Thames.
I used to catch fish out of the Mole when I was younger and didn't have a lot of money and lived in like not squats, what would you call them, bed sits and shared houses and that. I used to get my dinner out of the Mole, tiny trout, tiny trout, and I used to get them by going down the storm drains with a landing net and a torch, like a little round pan net on a short handle and a torch, And I used to go down the storm drain, so under the road.
Yeah.
And it's all dark, and you go along with the torch, and you can see the tails of these little trout in front of you. And I've got a barber jacket on, and they come equipped with what they call a poacher's pocket.
At the back. Yeah.
And I've got a priest, like Gadonga. So I'm underneath the road, and I used to go outside Three Bridges Station, which is in Crawley. It's like a main London to Brighton line station, on the main road next to the video store. It's a populated area, and you'd go underneath, and I used to shout things up the grate to people at the bus stop. Help! That's freaked them right out.
Pennywise Laney.
Anyway, I'd carry on through this bit, and then you'd come out at the back of the railway working men's drinking club thing. There was a bit there where the drain became the stream and then went back in another drain, but it had daylight. So what you used to do was push these trout along, push them along, and when they see the daylight, one by one, they'd panic, and they'd come back, and they'd either hit your wader and you'd missed them, or in the landing net, and you'd lift up the landing net, donk them on the head. They were probably a pound was a good one, in the pocket, and you'd get 3 or 4, and you'd take them home for your tea. Which was great. The problem with it was if you got 4, 3 would be nice, and 1 would taste of petrol. Where there was a lot of Crawley, main town. If that had come from a polluted bit or whatever, they had a tang to them. Yeah. So you used to bin them ones. But I used to catch my own dinner from underneath the bus stop.
That's brilliant. So do the rivers interest you? Would that be something that you think?
Yeah, they do.
Into?
They really do. And when I drive in places, in fact, coming back from Northampton this week, I went past a bit of river and I looked up. In fact, I went over a bridge and it said Great Ooze or whatever it was as I went over it, which made me look up the river. And it went for a farmer's field, and there's some cows down there and what have you. And I thought, I know you can't just pitch up where you like, but I thought if I could get permission to fish on the end of Matey's field up there on that bend of the river by that island, I'd never see a soul. No. You could do the year up there, you wouldn't see a single soul. There's hardly any access, and I thought that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, if you fancy doing a bit on the river, I'll try and put you in contact with someone I know.
Right. Okay.
That'll maybe put you right.
Yeah.
Stick a pin in it.
Not that you won't be able to work it out for yourself.
I don't know. Rivers help is always handy in that sort of. I don't mind asking lots of questions on lakes. I've always said the more information you get, you don't have to follow it. But the more you know, the more knowledge you got. And the
knowledge is power.
100%. The more pieces of the jigsaw you got, and the clearer the picture, basically, isn't it? I do that, going off topic with the river and that. But I do that. I was talking to a bloke at the lake just the other day, and I said to him, sometimes we're talking about asking questions and that. I said, I'm not punishing you, mate. I said, I'm asking for a different reason. I said, sometimes people might take it the wrong way. You can see it in their eyes, and they're like, when we was on the island lake, I'd turn up on the Sunday, find someone who'd done the weekend, and say, right,
what time's right time?
No, I'd say, where has everybody fished? Who's fished where? He's fished there. Who's caught? And that. But a lot of people do that because they think, all right, he's had 3.
Get in there.
I'm getting in there. I wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally end up in any of the swims that had been fished or fished by someone that uses a lot of bait or had done a lot of fish. I wanted to do something different. So that's a information gathering for a different reason.
But half the time, if you're going in somewhere that's already done a lot of fish, it's done. That's it. It's over.
Yeah, it's yesterday's news, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not going to repeat itself in that same sort of period, is it?
No, definitely not. And if someone's had a good session and they think, I'll get back next week, they likely to put a load of bait in all over their spots, enough to last the fish till next time they come back 5 days later, and I don't want to be fishing over that.
Yeah, exactly.
So information isn't always, you don't always use it, but you do use it, but in different ways.
Yeah.
I like to know as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
You mentioned the island lakes there.
Yeah.
I was gonna get onto that subject as well, but I want to roll it back a few years as how and when you met Mozza, because I know you guys fished quite a bit together on Raceby 2, the Island Lakes, but it all started at Carp Wars, was it?
That was the first time.
First ever time. Yeah, was Carp Wars when Pads was still about.
Actually, it wasn't. I'd met Mozza once before. You probably won't remember.
In Santa's Grotto. You were on his knee, Moz.
What pub might this have been?
So it was at a carp show, and I can't remember which one they all did. Yeah, we all do carp shows. They blend into one, don't they? It's all the same thing. And it was that night when we all get drunk in between the two and wish we hadn't. Saturday night, and then on Sunday, people are talking to you and your eyes are streaming and your tongue stuck to the top roof of your mouth. And so it was that night, and it was very warm that particular evening, wherever we were, and it was outside. So outside this pub, there was loads of more like a hotel than a pub, but there was loads of outside tables. And sorry, I keep hitting that mic. And everyone was out there and having a jolly good time and quite drunk. Now, I turned up late because I'd had to go and pick up a boat, which I was going to use, did use. Remember my bathtub? That you actually bought one the same day.
Yeah, I still got it. Yeah.
Well, when I first picked that up, it was at the show, and I picked it up from the River Thames off of an angler. 50 quid I paid for mine. It's the best boat ever, a solid boat. I'd borrowed this big old, smelly old diesel Transit. Horrible thing, stunk of fumes if you drove anywhere. I'd borrowed it from Crawley, driven to it was the airfield show, wherever that Farnborough. Anyway, ended up on the river, got this boat, so I turned up late to the party, and it was in full swing. And as I pulled in this smoky old green Transit into the car park, and there was this grass area with all these tables, I saw this bloke with like a chin strappy thing.
There's only
stood on the table.
Oh my God, I don't
out
remember
the front,
this.
stood
I
on
don't
the table,
entertaining.
He's
lying. That's not true. That's not true.
That is absolutely on the money.
That didn't happen.
I thought I could get on with him. He looks right. So that was the first time I'd ever met him.
Right.
But the first time we got to know each other, yes, it was on Carp Wars, which was... Wow, that was a thing, wasn't it? Carp Wars.
Loved Carp Wars.
So did you enjoy
Carp
it?
Wars, apart from some of the... I'm going to be very politically correct. Some of the contestants, Moz knows exactly what's in my brain at the moment, maybe took it a little bit too seriously, and it led to some bad feeling.
Right.
Whereas it should have been, I approached it, and so did Moz, as a job that could be fun, that paid all right.
Yeah.
You go fishing, you do your filming, in front of the camera, the cameras go off, you have a laugh, you know the people you're fishing against.
Yeah.
It's not a serious competition. You're two blokes doing a job, catching fish. What a great job. What a brilliant job.
Yeah.
Go fishing, we're filming for a few hours.
And the crew are amazing lads as well, weren't they?
Everybody was lovely. Could have been perfect, but some people took it very seriously and it got a bit sour.
Was there prize money? There wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you got into the final, you got double pay.
Yeah, but there was a $5,000 prize, wasn't there, at the end?
Was there?
$2,000 prize.
I don't know about that.
They got rid of it.
Tried a bit harder.
They scrapped it on the second year, I think.
Oh, did they now? What, the year I started at that one?
Yeah, they did.
The one that got into the final.
Yes. Yeah, it was a...
Yeah, it was really sad that, unfortunately, because I had a similar thing with said
you did.
person as well.
Is that the one where the producer said to show, go easy on him, Moz? Is that a different one?
Yeah, that was Stephen Coe that I battered after. Because he had battered you.
Yeah.
Because he did back-to-back shoots, and he come to, after beating you on solid bags, because you phoned me and went, "His little kid's done me on these bag things." Yeah. He's like, "I'm going to tie him all down."
He was like 16 or 17 at the time, wasn't he?
He had more rods than
unbelievable
angling direct. He had a bank of them behind him, like some sort
with
of
tables set up.
And he had these things for zigs. I said I don't have any pre-tied.
Yeah,
I'm tying a zig.
100.
He'd got like pipe insulation tube things with hundreds of zigs. All, 4'1", 4'2", 4'2.5" pink, 4'3" yellow. Wow. Just like, oh my God, the guy's a machine.
And he's still absolutely mad for it now.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah.
But he taught me something there. Or reinforce something that I'd seen other people do, because I don't fish in that environment. I'm not a match angler, you know. I don't do competition fishing. I can't stand competition fishing. I hate it. It's not carp fishing as far as I'm concerned. But the solid bag thing, you know, that's what a lot of them do in that style of fishing. It is devastating. He battered me with these bags. I knew the water. He'd never been there. I'd fished a couple of socials on there. I knew how to fish it. I knew where to fish. You get to pick 3 swims each. I picked the three I'd have wanted.
Yeah.
And one of them was the absolute flyer. And he was just going around with these little bags, chucking them out and getting bite after bite after bite after bite. It was a boilie lake, and I knew the spots, and I just thought, within a few hours, I thought, I've lost. That I can't come back from this. He's had 10 and had a bite yet. And I just thought, I'm going to look more into that bag thing. And, you know, not going into it now, but further down the line, I have got a bag rig that I use, and people who've known me for years are like, you know,
it's part of your
PVA, like, PVA. All the things you said about PVA, I said, yeah, I know. But I do change my mind.
Stephen Kerr.
You know,
He had 10.
And I will change my mind on things. I'm not chilly. Sorry, Chill. You're not here to defend yourself so much anymore.
Bless you.
No, I do. You know, take stuff on board and change my mind with lots and lots and lots of things.
It's all right. I got him back for you though.
Yeah,
Dave. It's fine because So he did that shoot, and the whole crew went from there to East Delph. Poor old Stephen. He got a little bit of a bad hiding that time round.
One thing I did manage against him, I only had one bite right at the end within about the last hour. I'm sorry to admit this, but I'd asked the cameraman and the runner if they could scrape together the makings of a PVA bag for me. I didn't own anything like that, and they'd got hold of like 1 soggy or 2 soggy little dry bag things, and I'd crumbed some stuff up, and I'd made a PVA bag, and I cast it out, and I got a bite straight away. Wow. And I thought, this is ridiculous, but it was the biggest fish of the match, and you get a point, like 2 for the match and 1 for the biggest fish. So I'd robbed the point back, and I was like, no.
That's what I was
Small victory, tiny little victory.
Yeah. That's what I was giving it, because you get that biggest fish. I was going, this is a big one. He's going to keep your voice down. He's going to leave.
He's going to leave.
But yeah, no, fair play to him. He's proper stuck by his match fishing. He's won a couple of decent matches, and he actually went out as part of the England squad to the World Championships. So yeah. He's got a bit more experience under his belt, and he's in that sphere.
The funny thing,
it's a different persuasion, isn't it, to what I do anyway? It's a completely different sport.
It is.
But you know, you've got to be to make it in it. You've got to be good. You've got to know what you're doing. It's very.
And you've got to be committed and driven in the same way that you are
100%,
targeting.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate it or, you know, I dislike it. It's not me.
Yeah. I always have sort of said that I think a good angler would be good no matter what they turn their sort of head to. I think if probably in earlier life, if you had got really into match fishing,
What are you saying? There's not time now. What are you saying? No. Put it out there. What are you saying?
We got some poles downstairs, so don't mind setting you up.
Yeah, we'll get you some Matrix stuff. Really, no worries.
If you had time left.
Yeah, Laney versus Jamie Harrison.
Yeah,
or Jamie Hughes. What do you
on the feeder.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That'll be good.
But that's what I think. I think if you get fishing, and if you're good at, you can turn your hand to.
You can, but there's. I've always said if and it's been done a few times in these sort of carp wars. Well, not particularly that one, but stuff like that and magazine features and that. If you get a decent carp match angler, like a Drayton sort of angler, someone who's good, like real good, and put them against a carp angler in a match. That carp angler hasn't got a hope in hell, not a hope in hell of winning ever, because there's more in the armoury. If you're doing this match style thing, if you carp are like £10, £12, £15 or whatever, I'm not talking about sitting it out and fishing proper carp fishing or whatever you want to call it, but in that competition thing, that match style angler is going to win every single time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. That's why I lost all them Mozza verses. So thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Just chuck out.
You were playing those Mozza verses. Is you only.
You're all match anglers. You're all world champions. You've all got medals. I didn't have a hope in hell.
That is true. It was, me, Bart, Tom Maker. you were getting battered.
Yeah, no
Cheers,
chance.
Dave. Thanks for coming.
I don't know how anglers like. So you mentioned Tom, and I mention him quite often in my videoing as like the other side of the coin to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how people like Tom Maker do it because I don't know how they can be bothered to do it. Because if I'd caught 3, I'd wind in, put the cob on, have a beer, and think I'll get a couple tomorrow. You know, how do people catch 30 carp in 24 hours?
Yeah, I think that is in the same way that you would get a real buzz from catching your target or catching thing. A real big one. Because they don't catch loads of fish every time. Tom doesn't catch loads of fish every time he goes.
Does.
He will
I've seen him
probably...
I've seen him on Instagram. He does.
But he's fishing for that, like the time when he totally takes the lake apart. And
he's got a little bit more big fish now, hasn't he? A little bit. I'm talking about like when he was battering Laney.
But he would, him having a 50 fish session, that would be to him like you were catching a target fish. It's I've gone here that many times, and then now it's like everything's come together, and I've had an absolute beano, and
you've got to be so organised.
Yeah.
And I am. Mozza's seen me fish. I am not organised at all. In fact, the governor of this new syndicate I'm on, Urchester, he comes in my. So he said to me, "I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a swim so messy in my life. There is gear everywhere, all up the bank, up the bed. It's like a tide of tackle and stuff. If I've caught 2 fish." If I've had 2 fish, then everything's destroyed. And if one's come up and taken a floater, then all that's out as well, and it's all over the floor, and it's just chaos.
But there's obviously method to the madness.
Somewhere. Well, everything's on view. If you want something,
organised chaos,
over there. It's just. But then when you move as much as I do as well, you end up with like this particular session I've just come back from. At one stage, I don't know quite how this happened. I went back to the van for something. I think it might have been the floaters. And so while I'm here, I'll get the cob for wherever I end up tonight for dinner, the oven, and I'll get a bucket of floaters, and I need some more water, and I might as well pick the beer out of the fridge for tonight. And I thought, I can't carry all this. So I'd taken a builder's barrow. There's a stack of builder's barrows in the car park, in the compound, just not for fishing, they're for work. And I thought, I'll borrow one of them, no one will mind. So I put everything in it, and I was right up the other end of the lake, and then I had the floater fishing thing, and then I moved to another swim. And the next morning, I woke up and it was the Hunter's Moon set. So it was just going down over my rods, took a lovely photo and that. And 10 minutes later, I thought, I don't want to be here. I've done a wrong one. I'm in the wrong swim. So I moved, I see a fish jump, so I moved over there. I've got 2 barras now and lots of gear. So I moved up. You're not allowed to leave your gear in a swim if you can't occupy 2. So I threw a load of it in the bushes because I thought, well, then it's not in a swim. Like little bits, like my bivvy, my bed. Little bits. Well, I thought I'm not tired. I've only just got up, so I don't need to go to sleep. It's not going to rain, so I don't need those 2 items. I don't need the cob because I've already had dinner. I don't need that empty bucket there. I don't need the toilet bucket because I've been. So I've like made a nest in the bushes with this other barrow, this builder's barrow. And then I shot off with my other kit over to there. And then I see another fish jump up the other side of the lake. So I thought, it's a couple of gates and it's quite a long way. And it's a big one and it's right in the margin. So I thought, I can go and have a go for that for a couple of hours. So I got round there and I've left stuff in the bushes at the second stop that I've been in. Because I thought, I don't need all of that because it's quite a long push. And I've got up there and then I've nearly run out of water for my tea. And I've got to a stage where I thought, right, I need to do something. And I've blown it. I fished 3 swims this morning. It's probably lunchtime by now. I need to do something. I need to get everything fishing. And I thought, I want to fish where I caught that one on floater, right over the other side, like the only corner of it. It's 18-acre lake, but it's very long, hundreds of yards, 1,000 yards long. I want to be over there. I thought, but I've got a barra here with some gear on, but I can't fish here because I've got no bed, I've got no bivvy, I've got no water, I've got no whatever. That's over there at the bottom of the bay. Oh no, it isn't. The other stuff's there. That's over there with the other barra, which has got to go back to the car park, which is over there. And I've got to go to Tesco's. And I sat there. Honestly, I kid you not. I sat there for about a quarter of an hour, working out the logistics of which was the less steps of whether to leave everything and walk off and go to Tesco's and then get it all on the way back. But then if I decided I wanted to be there, and I've got 2 barras. I even thought if I get the builder's barra and put a strap between the handles, maybe I can drag it behind me like a trailer, push one, pull one. I just thought this could take hours just to get fishing. It's just a nightmare.
You've seen this emotion, Moz, haven't you? You've seen this.
You're quite bad with the amount of kit that you
I take a lot.
It's not the amount of kit; it's where I dump it.
And I am messy.
I just discard it.
You've seen Dave in action with all this sort of stuff.
So I was set up on the Travellers Bank at, on the island in one of the cages.
Oh yeah,
and I watched you pack down from Vipers,
which is on an island.
An island, boat to the carpets, put your bivvy up, but take your bivvy straight back down. Went from carpets to Bevs. Didn't like Bevs. Moved from Bevs up to like 3 swims up. Then went and come over and see me. And I went, Dave, I've seen you move like 4 times. He went, I can't decide. You went back to Vipers, put the bivvy up, but didn't put any rods down. Then went round into Snags 1, then come back to Viper. And I'm like, Dave, it's 10 o'clock. And you've moved like 8 times this morning. I haven't put a rod in the water.
But boat moving is great. I love boat fishing because with boat, you've got a boat next to you, you take out all your stuff, you set it all up and you think, oh, I want to move. So you literally smash it all down, tip it all in the boat, step in the boat and go like that, and you're somewhere else. You've got the same pile of shit that you had in there, but it's yours and it's with you and everything you need is in there somewhere, including the dog most of the time. And you just twist your wrist and you can get there and then you can get out what you need and then put it back in and you can be over there. And, boat fishing is brilliant. And a couple of times, once on the island and once on, where was the other? Rosebery 2. I've moved in the evening, so I've been all settled. I'm not moving anymore. I'm on fish, got the bivvy up, got the bed up, got everything. I'm going to have some dinner. So I've got the barbecue going. Fish have started showing down the other end or, somewhere else. So I've wrapped it all up, chucked it in there and thought, I'm barbecuing. I got the barbecue on, I've got 6 chicken thighs on the go on there. So I've just put all the gear in the boat, lifted, because mine's on legs, my barbecue, lifted it up by the legs, put it over the top of the buckets at the back, off you go. So you're going across the lake, twice I've done this, with a barbecuing while you're going across the lake. And it must look from the bank, it must be like a tugboat. The old steam tugboat thing. Big trail of smoke coming out the back of the
That's
lake.
what was good about the cobs, because you could move because you can pick the cobs up and you can lash them in your boat and just go.
Yeah, they're cold
because
they're cold on the outside. You can move anywhere with a cob. I've had it on a barra full of gear, the cob on the top, cooking, like moving around K1 regularly.
Room service.
This is amazing. Yeah. Amazing, guys. There's 1,001 stories, and I'm sat here thinking we could chat all week. And
shall we?
We could do. We absolutely could do.
We've got cakes.
There's all these amazing stories, and they'll be pleased to know we will get into all this. I want to talk about your time with Mozza on the Island Lakes. Yeah. So please be know we have got Dave coming back on the next podcast as well, which is episode 15. So we're going to get into all that on the next one.
That's dependent. Sorry, interrupting. We haven't had the sandwiches yet. I was assured that the sandwiches would be really good, and Lou said, if they are good, will you come back next time? I said, if they're real good.
That's on my mate. That's on my head.
If they were good, there will be another one.
That's on my head.
What's that bead of sweat coming down?
We'll see what happens. But so we're going to get all into that on the next podcast. Just to wrap this one up though, folks, We've got, as we always do, we've got Fish of the Month, which we want to get into now. As ever, the guys over on the Syndicate page, which is the official community for Fox and Spom, have been voting by myself, Harry, Lewis and Scott, and we have voted Neil Mundy.
Neil Mundy. Yeah.
Oh, is this Orient, Neil?
Orient, yeah.
Nice.
He went over there and he had a 50, what was it? It was
Two?
51.6 common.
Oh yeah, unreal fish, and it's
Beautiful.
like it's the he's posted a video into the
Yes.
group, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And it's where the water. It's
I've been
one of those
watching him every
classic.
day. He's
It's
been
one of
doing
those
dates
classic
every day,
like
yeah.
Orient scenes where the water level's down and you got all the weed up the banks where it's all
Amazing
washed away,
angle.
and he's got this big like perfect common. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
So, Neil, you have won Fish of the Month for September. So there is £100 worth of Fox Edges gear heading your way, mate. As ever, anyone can get involved as long as you're a member of the Syndicate. If you've been out fishing, you caught a nice one, upload it to the page, and then that will make its way into the podcast. And then the guys will be voting for October's Fish of the Month next. So, yeah, get involved with that. And what we want to do on this podcast as well. So up for grabs, we've got some lovely spoms. I've got, how many we got? H, we got 4 or 5 we can give away? 3? We've got 3.
Yeah.
We've got 3
limited
spoms. Very limited edition spoms, these ones. They're being signed by Dave Lane. They're also going to be signed by Mozza as well. And
I didn't agree to that.
well, it's in now, Moz. I'm bribing you with sandwiches. So if you want to get your hands on one of these spoms, we want you to, in the comments, put a question that you would like to put to the guys here at the All-Ways Carp Fishing Podcast. Could be anything you like, and the best questions will get read out on the next podcast. Well, that'll be episode 16 when the guys are back. And like I say, the best ones will be having a spom heading your way. Other than that, guys, once again, thank you ever so much for tuning in.
Dave, that was brilliant.
Yeah, thank you much.
Thank you very much. And join us on episode 15 in a couple of weeks' time. Cheers, guys.
No problem. Cheers.